Hurricane Harvey has shut down the Gulf Coast of Texas, as we've seen, and the first town to be hit by the monster storm is Corpus Christi. That's where Weijia Jiang is now. Weijia, thanks for joining us in those tough conditions. Describe what you've seen and how you've seen it evolve in the last couple hours.
Yeah, Brooke, rain has been pounding down on us for several hours now, and as you can see, the wind is picking up. This is nothing, though, compared to what we are bracing for. And even though Harvey is still so far away, I want to show you the damage, the peak of what is to come. This is a palm tree about 25 feet long right behind me, and you can see it is completely down. I checked out the root system over there, and you can just feel how wet and saturated it is by all the water that we've already gotten. So it didn't take that much wind to knock it over, but we are experiencing a lot of strong gusts here, and that's why it came down. Luckily, nobody was in its path, no cars, no people, but that's certainly one reason why EMS crews are so concerned and why people are worried. So right now, the ones who have chosen to stay here are just inside their homes because they have nothing else to do except wait to see just how bad it gets. But I can tell you that the conditions continue to worsen out here, and we are seeing fewer and fewer people.
Up the coast from where you are, we've spoken to both DeMarco Morgan and David Begnaud, who have said, you know what, people aren't taking it that seriously. Do you see more of a sense of urgency where you are?
No. Frankly, we've been here all day, and we've been talking to people because they're here to talk to, especially earlier on in the day. You know, people told us they didn't want to abandon their homes. They didn't want to go through the hassle of transporting their families and their pets and worrying about where they would end up. And yeah, they said they didn't think it would be so bad. So here we are in a situation where even though they have prepared, they have not prepared for what's to come. Category 4, and just by the numbers, you can tell what we are anticipating. Storm surges up to 12 feet, up to 3 feet of rain, and then up to 130 miles per hour sustained wind gusts. This is not what people expected, but it's too late now. That window to evacuate has closed, and so those who have decided to stay here are just going to have to wait. The police here in Corpus Christi have said life-threatening calls will be dispatched if conditions allow. That's exactly what firefighters told us today. That is a big if, because we don't know how bad the conditions are going to get. And frankly, they said if they're too bad, they will not go on calls because they will not put lives in danger.
I know how hard it is to track this kind of thing from a live shot position, but there have been reports on social media of looting in the city. Is that something you've have any sign of, and do you know anything about what officials are doing to try and combat that?
You know, there are reports of that, and we have been driving around this area, so it is not hard to see why, because again, we're seeing fewer and fewer cars, we're seeing fewer people out here. What we are seeing is a lot of boarded up stores and businesses and people in their homes. So if others decide to come out here and take advantage of that, they're putting themselves at risk, and they're capitalizing on a treacherous situation that could possibly result in needing help from rescue crews that, again, have limited resources right now because they're not going to come out in conditions that jeopardize their own safety. So police are monitoring the possibility of looting, but right now we have not heard how much of that is happening so far.
Okay, Weijia, thanks a lot. You and Mark stay safe tonight.